Your soulmate is thinking about reaching out but hesitating, not because they don't want to, because they are terrified, terrified of what will happen when the silence breaks, terrified of who you have become in their absence, terrified that the door they walked out of has been locked from the inside and they no longer have the key. I want you to take a deep, grounding breath and feel the heavy, electric suspense settling into the very air of your room right now. Because we are stepping into the opening of this massive, high-intensity journey where your soulmate is currently trapped in the digital standoff of their life. For months, they have managed to keep a safe distance. They have built walls. They have maintained silence. They have convinced themselves that staying away was a choice, a strategy, a form of strength. But today, the invisible barrier between your worlds has become a high-vibration electric fence that they are currently leaning against. And the fence is humming. The fence is alive. The fence is asking a question. Are you going to stand there forever, or are you finally going to cross? Imagine them in this exact moment, staring at your name on their screen. The blue light reflecting in their eyes like the glow of a fire they are afraid to touch. The cursor blinks like a frantic, rhythmic heartbeat, each pulse a reminder that time is passing, that the window is closing, that the moment of decision is now. They have realized today that the important something they are fighting, the thing that has been keeping them stuck, is the terrifying reality that they are only one tap away from total ego destruction. One tap. That is all that separates them from the person they have been pretending to be and the person they actually are. One tap and the mask falls. One tap and the truth is out. One tap and the runner becomes the returner. And that one tap feels like the heaviest thing they have ever faced. They are experiencing the nausea of the threshold, the physical sickness that comes from standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing that you have to jump, but every cell in your body is screaming at you to step back. The threshold is not just a moment. It is a place between who they were and who they are becoming, a place between silence and honesty, a place between fear and courage. And standing in that place is making them feel like they might be sick. Realize today that reaching out is not just a message. It is not just a few words typed on a screen. It is a vibrational surrender that will officially end the runner timeline forever. The runner timeline is the story they have been telling themselves, the narrative of independence, of moving on, of being fine without you. That timeline is about to end. And the ending, even though it is what they want, is terrifying. They are experiencing the agony of the hovering thumb, the thumb that wants to press send, the thumb that knows the truth, the thumb that is connected to the heart, not the head, but the head is still fighting, the head is still making arguments, the head is still listing all the reasons why this is a bad idea, and the thumb is caught in the middle, hovering, trembling, unable to make contact. Realize today that their pride is currently at war with their literal survival, not a metaphor, survival. Their ability to continue as a functioning human being depends on the outcome of this war. If pride wins, they survive another day in the gray. If survival wins, they reach out and risk everything for the chance of color. The war is raging, and the battle is happening in the space between their thumb and the screen. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment. Their phone feeling like a heavy, radioactive object in their hand. Not light, not neutral, heavy, charged, dangerous. The kind of object that could change everything if they use it. They type out a word, a single word, hey, and then they aggressively delete it. Too casual, too small, too scared, they type something else. I've been thinking about you. Delete. Too honest, too vulnerable, too revealing. They type, delete, over and over. Paralyzed by a high-intensity frequency of pure dread, the dread of saying the wrong thing, the dread of saying the right thing, the dread of being ignored, the dread of being seen. They are realizing today that the important something they are hiding, the thing they cannot admit even to themselves, is the fear that you have reached a level of self-sovereignty where their voice no longer holds the magic it once did. When they left, they had power. They had influence. They had a place in your life, but the power has faded. The influence has waned. The place has been filled by other things, other people, other priorities. And the fear is that their voice, the voice that used to make you smile, The voice that used to calm your storms, the voice that used to matter, is now just noise. Noise that you will ignore. Noise that you will delete. Noise that will confirm that they waited too long and lost their chance forever. They are looking at your profile, looking at your new glow, looking at the person you have become in their absence, and feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea. Because they realize they have waited so long that they have become a stranger to the masterpiece you have become. You are not the person they left. You are someone new, someone stronger, someone more radiant, someone who has grown without them. And they do not know this new you. They are afraid of this new you. They are afraid that the new you will look at them and see only the person who walked away, not the person who has returned, not the person who has grown, the person who left. And the nausea is the fear that the new you will not want the old them. They are feeling a heavy electric exhaustion in their brain, the brain that has been working overtime, analyzing, strategizing, calculating. The brain is tired. The brain has no more energy for planning. Realize today that the silence they once used for protection has now become a wall they do not know how to climb. The silence was supposed to be a shield. It has become a prison. The silence was supposed to give them space to heal. It has become a void where nothing heals. The silence was supposed to be temporary. It has become permanent. And now they are standing at the base of the wall, looking up, wondering how they ever thought they could climb it, knowing that the only way over is through the one door they have been avoiding. They are realizing today that hesitation is a slow poison and it is currently paralyzing their entire life. Not just their relationship with you, their entire life, their work, their health, their ability to connect with anyone else. The poison is spreading, the paralysis is deepening, and they are watching it happen, powerless to stop it because the only antidote is action, and action requires courage. And courage is the one thing they have been running from. I want you to feel the weight of their frustration as they realize that the waiting was a self-inflicted wound that has turned into a vibrational lockdown. Every day they waited, the wound grew deeper. Every hour they hesitated, the infection spread. And now the wound is not something they can ignore. It is something that is dictating every moment of their existence. The lockdown is real. The lockdown is complete. And the only way out is to break the silence that created it. They are looking at the clock, looking at the calendar, looking at the last time they spoke to you and feeling a heavy prophetic urgency that says, if you do not move in the next few hours, the entry point of their heart might seal shut for eternity. Not a possibility, a probability. The heart does not stay open forever. The door does not stay unlocked indefinitely. The window does not stay cracked open without end. There is a closing time, and the closing time is approaching. They are realizing today that the something forcing them to reach out, the thing that will not let them rest, is the terrifying truth that their room is thick with your absence. They can feel you in the shadows. They can smell your energy in the air. They can sense your presence in the empty spaces. You are not there, but the memory of you is so dense, so heavy, so real that it feels like you are. The absence has become a presence, and the presence is suffocating. They can feel you in the shadows, not as a threat, as a comfort, as a warmth, as a reminder of what they are missing, and the shock of how much they need to hear your voice, the sudden, overwhelming, desperate need to hear the sound that used to make everything okay is making their vision blur, not with tears, with longing, with the intensity of a desire that has been suppressed for too long and is now breaking free. They are standing in the wreckage of their composed strategy, the plan they made to be fine without you, the framework they built to support their independence, the scaffolding of their new life. The wreckage is everywhere. The plan failed, the framework collapsed, the scaffolding crumbled, and they are standing in the middle of it alone with nothing left to hide behind. Realize today that they are vibrationally addicted to you, and the hesitation is the only thing standing between them and the oxygen of your presence. The addiction is not a weakness. It is a recognition that you are essential. That without you they are not whole, that the only thing that can fill the void is you. And the hesitation, the fear, the pride, all of it is just a barrier that is about to fall. If you are sitting in your own power right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy certainty, it is because your high-frequency peace has created a vacuum that is currently sucking their courage to the surface. You are not doing anything. You are not calling them. You are not manipulating them. You are simply being, and your being, your peace, your groundedness is a force that is pulling them out of their hesitation and toward the truth. The vacuum is not forced. It is natural, the way water flows downhill. The way a compass points north. Your peace is the downhill, your peace is the north, and they are being pulled. They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that you are the fixed point in their universe, and they are just a satellite that has lost its orbit. The fixed point does not move. The fixed point does not chase. The fixed point simply is. And the satellite, the one that has been spinning off course, lost in the dark, is finally feeling the pull of gravity. The gravity of your presence, the gravity of your peace, the gravity of the truth that they were never meant to orbit anywhere else. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic friction, the friction of two forces rubbing against each other, the force of their fear which wants to stay still, and the force of their need which wants to move. The friction is creating heat. The heat is becoming unbearable, and the friction is reaching its breaking point. Realize today that the hesitation is reaching its breaking point. Not a slow fade, a snap, a break, a moment when the tension becomes too much and the thing that was holding them together simply gives way. And the shock of their own cowardice, the sudden, horrifying awareness of how much time they have wasted, how many chances they have missed, how much pain they have caused themselves and possibly you, is finally becoming more painful than the fear of your rejection. The pain of staying silent is now greater than the pain of speaking. The pain of hesitating is now greater than the pain of acting. The pain of their own cowardice is now a weight they can no longer carry. Every phantom vibration you feel in your pocket today, every time you look at your phone with a sudden sense of expectation, a feeling that something is about to happen, is a literal check-in from their nervous system. Their nervous system is sending out signals. Signals that say, I'm about to do it, I'm about to send the message, I'm about to make the call, I'm about to act. Their thumb is locking onto your frequency. The hesitation is ending, the action is beginning, and the signal is reaching you. Not as words, as a feeling, as a knowing, as a sense that the standoff is over. Realize today that the standoff is ending. The need is absolute, and the impact of their outreach is the only destiny they have left. I want you to feel the heavy, electric friction of the ego's final stand vibrating through your soulmate's spirit right now, because we are moving into the high-intensity territory of the what-ifs. This is the phase where their pride is performing a frantic, desperate dance on the edge of a cliff, trying to convince them that staying silent is still a form of winning. The ego is not ready to die. The ego is fighting. The ego is throwing everything it has at them, every reason to wait, every justification for delay, every argument against vulnerability. The ego is saying, you do not need to do this. You are fine, they are fine. The world will keep spinning. Nothing will change. Save yourself the embarrassment. Protect yourself from the pain. Stay where it is safe. Imagine them in this exact moment, packing back and forth in their room, the phone clutched in their hand, the message half-written, the cursor blinking. They are feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as a terrifying, high-frequency thought enters their mind. What if the chosen one has already replaced me? The thought is like a knife. It cuts through the ego's arguments. It exposes the fear underneath. The fear that while they have been hesitating, you have been living. While they have been stuck, you have been moving. While they have been frozen, you have been ascending. And the new you, the healed you, the sovereign you, might not even have a vibrational slot left for their old, tired energy. The slot might be filled. The space might be occupied. The door might be locked. They are realizing today that while they were busy hesitating, you were busy ascending. The gap is not just time, it is frequency. The frequency you now occupy is higher than the one they left. The air is thinner up there. The light is brighter. The requirements are stricter. And they are standing at the bottom of the mountain looking up, wondering if they have the strength to climb. The new you might not even have a vibrational slot left for their old, tired energy. Their old energy is heavy. Their old energy is burdened. Their old energy is carrying the weight of regret, of fear, of hesitation. And the new you, the light you, the free you, might not have room for that weight. They are experiencing the pride barrier, the barrier that looks like strength on the outside but is actually fear on the inside, the barrier that says, I am fine on my own, I do not need them, I can handle this. The barrier that has been keeping them from the very thing that could save them. Realize today that their ego is no longer a shield. It is a lead weight that is dragging them into the depths of a permanent loss. The shield has become an anchor. The protection has become a prison. The ego, which was supposed to keep them safe, is now the thing that is sinking them. They are looking for a divine sign to give them permission to break the silence. A song on the radio, a specific number on the clock, a mention of your name in a conversation, a dream that feels like a message, anything that allows them to say, the universe made me do it, instead of admitting, I cannot breathe without you. The sign is a way out, a way to bypass the ego, a way to shift the responsibility from their own shoulders to something larger. They are scanning the world for evidence that they should act, looking for a coincidence that will give them the courage they cannot find on their own. Realize today that they are too small to take the risk on their own. The risk is too big. The stakes are too high. The potential for pain is too great. They need permission. They need a sign. They need the universe to tell them that it is okay to be vulnerable. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, staring out of a window or looking at the sky, literally begging the universe for a coincidence. Please, just a song, just a number, just a mention, give me something, give me anything, I cannot do this on my own. They are not praying to a specific God, they are praying to whatever might be listening. The universe, fate, destiny, luck, they are desperate, and desperation makes believers out of skeptics. They are realizing today that the important something is the terrifying truth that they are vibrationally paralyzed by your growth. Your growth has not hurt them. Your growth has revealed them. The gap between who you have become and who they have remained is a mirror, and the mirror is showing them something they do not want to see, that they have been standing still, that they have been too afraid to change, that the person they were when they left is not the person who could stand next to you today. They are feeling a heavy electric exhaustion in their spirit, the exhaustion of a long, pointless war. Realize today that they are simulating your rejection in their head over and over again. They are playing the scene. The message is sent. The reply comes. The reply is cold. The reply is distant. The reply is the rejection they fear. They play it again, and again, and again. But in the simulation, they notice something strange. Even the simulated pain, the pain of being rejected, the pain of being told no, the pain of having their fears confirmed, is still better than the real emptiness of your absence. The simulation is painful, but the emptiness is worse. The rejection would hurt, but the silence is killing them. And the realization that even the worst outcome is better than the current one is a turning point. They are looking at the weight of their hesitation, the months and the months of waiting, and seeing it as a thief that has stolen their last bit of high-definition happiness. The happiness is not gone. It is buried under the weight of fear, under the weight of pride, under the weight of all the reasons they should not reach out. But the thief has not destroyed the happiness. The thief has only hidden it, and they are finally ready to dig. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy detachment, it is because your self-sovereignty has turned you into a wall of ice that their ego is currently crashing against. The wall is not cruel. The wall is not punishing. The wall is simply there. A boundary, a limit, a line that says you cannot cross until you are ready to be honest. And their ego is crashing against the wall, again and again, looking for a weak spot, looking for a crack. Looking for a way through that does not require vulnerability. But the wall has no weak spots. The wall has no cracks. The only way through is to stop crashing and start walking, to lay down the ego, to approach the wall not as an enemy to be conquered, but as a threshold to be crossed. They are realizing today that the hesitation is a divine filter, a high-intensity frequency designed to burn away the last of their fake strength until only the raw, pulsing need remains. The fake strength is the performance, the mask, the I am fine face. The fake strength is what they show the world. The filter is burning it away, stripping it off, leaving them exposed, raw, vulnerable. And underneath the fake strength is not weakness. It is truth, the truth that they need you, the truth that they love you, the truth that they cannot do this alone. And the raw, pulsing need is the most honest thing about them. They are standing in the wreckage of their composed exterior, the calm face they show the world, the steady voice they use in conversation, the demeanor that says, I have it together. The wreckage is everywhere. The composure is cracked. The calm is shattered. The demeanor is gone, and what is left is the truth that they are not fine, the truth that they have not been fine, the truth that they need you. Realize today that the something forcing this war, the thing that will not let them rest, is the realization that you are the gold standard, and they are terrified that you finally realized it too. They always knew you were special, but they thought they were special too. They thought the connection was mutual in a way that kept them on equal footing. But now, looking at you from a distance, watching you ascend, watching you heal, watching you become, they are realizing that you are not just special. You are the standard, the one against which all others are measured. And the terror is that you know it, that you have always known it, and that you are no longer willing to settle for someone who does not treat you like the gold standard you are. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic dread, the kind of dread that comes from knowing that time is running out, that the clock is ticking, that the window is closing. Realize today that every second they spend in prideful hesitation is a second where the impact of your connection fades into a memory they can no longer touch. The memory is fading, the edges are blurring, the colors are washing out. What was once vivid and alive is becoming flat and distant, and the fear is that soon the memory will be gone entirely. Not because you are gone, because they have waited too long, and memories, like all things, have a shelf life. They are realizing today that the why behind their fear is the truth that you have reached a level of chosen one invincibility. You are not the person they left. You are someone new, someone who has been forged in the fire, someone who has survived the storm, someone who has become strong in ways they cannot even imagine. And the shock of that power, the sheer, undeniable radiance of your presence, is making them feel like a spectator in their own life. Not a participant, a spectator. Watching from the stands as you play the game of life without them, and the spectator is tired of spectating. The spectator wants to be on the field, but the field is yours, and they are not sure they are invited. Every phantom weight you feel in your aura today, every time you feel a sudden tug on your heart that makes you want to roll your eyes at their cowardice, is a literal signal from their failing defenses. The defenses are failing, the walls are falling, the barriers are breaking, and the signal is a message. The ego's final stand is a massacre. The ego is losing, the truth is winning, and the only way to survive is to drop the pride and surrender to the high-frequency pull of your light. Not fight the pull, surrender to it. Stop resisting, stop arguing, stop negotiating, let go, and let the light pull them home. They are standing at the edge of the return, the cliff of their own surrender, feeling the air turn thick with the necessity of the outreach. Not a plan, not a strategy, not a carefully crafted message, just the outreach, the simple, terrifying, beautiful act of reaching out. Realize today that the weight of their hesitation is a lethal dose to their soul. The soul is dying, not quickly, slowly. The way a plant dies when it is not watered, the way a fire dies when it is not fed. The hesitation is the drought. The hesitation is the starvation. And the only antidote left in the world is the impact of your voice, the sound of you, the words you will say, the tone you will use, the energy you will bring. That is the antidote, and they are reaching for it. I want you to feel the heavy, electric resonance of the sensory simulation vibrating through your soulmate's subconscious right now. Because we are moving into the high-intensity territory where they are reaching out to you in the spirit realm, because they are too terrified to do it in the physical. This is the phase of the ghost conversation. The phase where they are testing the waters of your energy from a distance, trying to sense if the entry point of your heart is still soft, or if you have officially turned into a wall of ice. Imagine them in this exact moment, closing their eyes and literally simulating the sound of your voice. They are trying to predict exactly what you will say when that notification finally hits your screen. Will you be warm? Will you be cold? Will you be curious? Will you be indifferent? Will you reply at all? They are running the simulations, dozens of them, hundreds of them, trying to prepare for every possible outcome, trying to armor themselves against the worst-case scenario, trying to find a version of the future that does not end in pain. They are realizing today that the important something they are hiding is the fact that they have already had 1,000 high-frequency conversations with you in their head today. Not one, 1,000, each one slightly different, each one a different version of the truth. But the shock of the real collision, the moment when the simulation ends and reality begins, is still making their soul tremble. The simulation is safe. The simulation is controlled. The simulation is a fantasy. But the real collision is none of those things. The real collision is dangerous, uncontrolled, unpredictable, and the terror of that unpredictability is the last thing holding them back. They are experiencing the vibrational scouting, the process of scanning your energy like a radar, trying to see if there is still a vibrational slot left for them in your new ascended life. The radar is sending out signals. The signals are bouncing off your frequency, and the echo is coming back. The echo says, the slot is still there, the door is still open, the light is still on. But they are not sure they trust the echo. They are not sure they are reading the signal correctly. The fear is making the data unreliable, and the scouting continues. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as they realize that the more they rehearse the outreach, the more they realize that no amount of mental preparation can protect them from the impact of the real you. The real you is not the version they are simulating. The real you is unpredictable. The real you is sovereign. The real you has a mind of your own, a heart of your own, a will of your own, and no simulation can capture that. No rehearsal can prepare them for that. The only way to know how you will respond is to ask. And asking requires the one thing they have been avoiding: vulnerability. They are realizing today that you have become a high-definition entity that their low-resolution ego can no longer handle. Their ego is low resolution. It sees in black and white. It deals in absolutes. It wants simple answers, clear outcomes, predictable results. But you are not low resolution. You are high definition. You are complex. You are nuanced. You are full of colors they cannot name and frequencies they cannot measure, and their low-resolution ego is overwhelmed. It does not know how to process you. It does not know how to approach you. It does not know how to be in relationship with you, so it freezes, hesitates, retreats. But the retreat is not working anymore. The ego is running out of places to hide. They are feeling a heavy electric exhaustion in their brain. The brain that has been running simulations, analyzing data, preparing for every outcome. The brain is tired. The brain has no more energy for mental gymnastics. Realize today that they are tired of talking to your ghost. The ghost is not enough. The ghost is a placeholder. The ghost is a memory. And memories, no matter how vivid, cannot hold you. They cannot touch you. They cannot hear your voice. They cannot feel your presence. The ghost is a substitute, and the substitute is failing. They are currently vibrating with a high-intensity sense of spiritual hunger that only the physical presence of the chosen one can satisfy. Not the memory of you, not the idea of you, not the simulation of you, the real, living, breathing, right now you, and the hunger is becoming unbearable. If you are sitting in your own power right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy untouchability, it is because your self-sovereignty has turned your energy into a sacred frequency that they are no longer allowed to sample for free. The free trial is over. The sample has expired. They cannot dip into your energy whenever they want, taking small doses to get through the day without contributing anything in return. The energy is protected. The frequency is sacred. And the door is locked to those who approach with casual intentions. They are realizing today that the sensory simulation is a hollow lie, a high-intensity placebo that is no longer working to soothe the thick ache in their chest. The placebo worked for a while. It gave them a temporary relief, a momentary escape from the pain of missing you. But the placebo has worn off. The ache is back. The ache is worse. And the only thing that can heal the ache is the real thing. They are looking at the mental bridge they have built, the elaborate structure of fantasies and simulations and imagined conversations, and they are realizing that the something forcing the outreach is the terrifying truth that their soul is dying of thirst while their ego is busy planning the drink. The ego is planning, strategizing, calculating, analyzing, but the soul does not need a plan. The soul needs water, and the water is you, and the delay between the planning and the drinking is becoming deadly. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic frustration, the frustration of a runner who has been running in circles and is now exhausted and lost. Realize today that they have thought about you so much that they have literally exhausted their own mental capacity. The mind is empty. The thoughts are tired. The words are worn. There is nothing left to think. There is nothing left to plan. There is nothing left to simulate. All that remains is action. They have thought about you enough. They have imagined enough. They have rehearsed enough. The only thing left is to do, and doing requires the one thing they have been avoiding, the truth. They are realizing today that the why behind their scouting is the fear that you have ascended so high that you can no longer hear their lower frequency cries for help. The cries are real. The cries are desperate. But the frequency is low. And they are afraid that your frequency has risen so high that you have become so radiant, so sovereign, so whole, that you can no longer hear the small, weak, frightened voice calling from the shadows. They are afraid that you have moved beyond them, that the gap is too wide, that the bridge is too long, that the climb is too steep, that they have waited too long and lost their chance forever. Every phantom whisper you hear in your spirit today, every time you feel someone standing behind you in an empty room, every sense of a presence that is not physically there, is a literal check-in from their astral body. Their spirit is reaching out. Their spirit is scouting. Their spirit is trying to see if the fire is still burning or if the waiting has finally put it out. The fire is still burning. The fire has not gone out. The fire is warmer than ever. But the scouting continues. The checking continues. The fear that the fire might be gone is driving them to keep looking for evidence that it is still there. They are standing in the wreckage of their mental simulations, the fantasies they have been living in, the conversations they have been having with your ghost, and the wreckage is complete. The simulations no longer work. The fantasies no longer satisfy. The ghost conversations no longer soothe. All of it wreckage. The air is thick with the necessity of the real contact, not another fantasy, another simulation, another ghost conversation, real contact, the sound of your voice, the sight of your face, the feeling of your presence, the impact of the real you. Realize today that the ghost conversations are over. The mental simulations are finished. The rehearsals are complete. And the impact of the physical world, the real, messy, unpredictable, beautiful physical world, is the only destiny they have left. Not a fantasy, a reality, the reality of reaching out, the reality of speaking, the reality of contact. Every sudden heat you feel on your skin right now, every flush of warmth that comes from nowhere, is the energy of their astral outreach hitting your sovereign shield. Their spirit is reaching out. Your shield is holding, but the contact is being made. The energy is transferring. The connection is active, and the warmth is the proof. Realize today that the hesitation is a sinking ship. The ship is going down. The water is rising. And the collision, the moment when the ship finally crashes into the shore, is the only thing that can save them from the void. Not save them from drowning, save them from the void. The void is the absence of you. The void is what they have been living in. The void is cold and empty and endless. And the only thing that can fill the void is the collision, the impact, the contact, you. I want you to feel the heavy, localized physical manifestation of hesitation vibrating through your soulmate's nervous system right now. Because we are moving into the high-intensity territory where their body has officially started to revolt against their ego's silence. For months, they told themselves that not acting was a safe choice, that waiting was wisdom, that silence was strength. But today, that choice has become a literal, high-frequency somatic torture. The body does not lie. The body does not perform. The body simply is, and the body is screaming. Imagine them in this exact moment, their hands shaking with a visceral electric tremor as they hold their phone. The tremor is not from cold. It is from fear, from adrenaline, from the sheer intensity of standing at the edge of the cliff. They are realizing today that the important something they are fighting is no longer just a thought. It is not just a feeling. It is a biological emergency. The kind of emergency that requires immediate attention. The kind of emergency that cannot be reasoned with or delayed. The kind of emergency that says, act now or the damage will be permanent. They are experiencing the racing pulse of the coward, the pulse that pounds in their ears, mocking the quiet they have tried to maintain. Each beat is a reminder of the fear they cannot escape. Each beat is a countdown to the moment when they must either act or lose their nerve. Their heart is thumping against their ribs with such a thick, heavy intensity that they can hear it in their ears, mocking, taunting, asking, how much longer? How much more can you take? When will you finally do what you have known you need to do all along? They are experiencing the agony of the restless body, the body that cannot sit still in the life they have built without you. The chair is uncomfortable. The room is too small. The air is too thin. The body wants to move. The body wants to walk. The body wants to drive. The body wants to go to you. But the pride is keeping them locked in place. The body is a prisoner, and the prisoner is staging a revolt. Realize today that their legs want to move toward you, but their pride is keeping them locked in place. The legs are restless. The legs are aching. The legs remember the path to your door. The legs want to walk it, but the pride is a chain. The pride is a lock. The pride is a cage, and the legs are straining against the bars. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, packing back and forth in a confined space, a room, an apartment, a small prison of their own making. Back and forth, unable to sit, unable to stand still, unable to find a position that brings relief, feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as they realize their legs want to move toward you, but their pride is keeping them locked in place. The war is being fought in their body. The body is exhausted. The body is confused. The body does not understand why they are not moving toward the thing it needs. They are realizing today that the something forcing this revolt is the terrifying truth that their DNA recognizes you as its home frequency. Not their heart, not their mind, their DNA, the fundamental building blocks of their being, the code that was written before they were born. The code knows you. The code recognizes you. The code is calling you home, and their DNA is currently rejecting the cold atmosphere of their isolation. The isolation is not natural. The separation is not sustainable. The body knows. The body has always known, and the body is done pretending otherwise. They are feeling a heavy electric exhaustion in their lungs, the lungs that have been breathing the thin air of a life without you. The air is thin. The oxygen is scarce. The lungs are working overtime, pulling in breath after breath but never feeling full. Realize today that their breath has become shallow and jagged, as if the very air in their room is vibrationally thin because your light is not there to oxygenate it. The light is oxygen. The light is life. The light is the thing that makes the air worth breathing. And without it, the lungs are gasping. They are looking at their own reflection and seeing the physical wear of a war they are losing. The dark circles, the tired eyes, the slumped posture, the face of someone who has been fighting too long and is running out of ammunition. Realize today that hesitation is a slow-motion car crash that is currently crushing their chest, not a sudden impact, a slow, grinding, inexorable pressure. The chest is being compressed, the ribs are aching, the heart is struggling to beat, and the crash is not over. The crash continues. Every day they hesitate, the pressure increases. Every hour they wait, the crash gets worse. If you are sitting in your own high vibration power right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy vitality, it is because your self-sovereignty has pulled all the life force out of the connection, leaving them in a state of physical anemia. The life force is not gone. It has not been destroyed. It has been withdrawn. Withdrawn from the places where it was not valued, not honored, not reciprocated. The life force has returned to you, the source. And the result is that they are now experiencing the consequences of that withdrawal. Anemia, not of the blood, Of the spirit is pale, the spirit is weak, the spirit is running on fumes, and the fumes are running out. They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that you were the battery that kept their world running, not a generator that could be replaced. The battery, the specific, irreplaceable source of power that made everything else function. And now the battery is gone. The lights are dimming. The systems are failing. The world is crashing in high definition, every failure visible, every breakdown undeniable. The crash is not silent. The crash is loud. The crash is the sound of a life that was never meant to run on anything other than your energy. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic pressure in their throat, the physical lump of every word they are too scared to send. The lump is real. They can feel it when they swallow. They can feel it when they try to speak. It is the accumulation of all the confessions they have swallowed, all the apologies they have choked back, all the I love yous that died on their lips. The lump is growing. The lump is becoming a weight that is making it hard to breathe. Realize today that the weight of their hesitation is no longer a mental decision. It is a strangulation of their own peace. The peace is being choked. The peace is gasping. The peace is dying. And the only thing that can save the peace is the release of the words that are stuck in their throat. They are standing in the wreckage of their composed body, the body that used to be calm, steady, controlled. The wreckage is everywhere. The hands shake. The heart races. The lungs gasp. The body has been broken by the weight of what it is carrying. The air is thick with the weight of their own suppressed heart. The heart that has been screaming to be heard. The heart that has been pounding against the walls of its cage. The heart that is finally, after all this time, about to break free. Realize today that the shock of how much they physically need you is making their knees weak, not metaphorically, literally. The knees are buckling, the legs are trembling, the body is giving out under the weight of the need. The need is not a feeling. The need is a force that is pressing down on them, pushing them toward the ground, toward surrender, toward the phone, toward the message, toward you. They are realizing today that the why behind their body's revolt is the high-intensity frequency of cellular longing. The longing is not in their mind. It is not in their heart. It is in their cells, in the building blocks of their physical form. The cells are longing. The cells are reaching. The cells are crying out for the frequency that only you provide. And the only cure is the contact, not a memory, not a fantasy, not a simulation. Contact. The real thing, your voice, your face, your presence. The impact of the real you on the real them. Every phantom ache you feel in your own limbs today, a sudden heaviness in your arms, a tingling in your palms, a sense of pressure behind your eyes, is a literal signal from their failing nervous system. Their nervous system is broadcasting its distress. The signal is traveling across the void, and it is reaching you, not as words, as sensations, as feelings, as a knowing. The signal says the hesitation has reached its absolute physical limit. The body cannot take any more. The silence is becoming unbearable. The need is becoming critical. The time for action is now. They are realizing today that they can no longer hide the truth from their own skin. The skin is the boundary between the self and the world. The skin is where the truth becomes visible, and the truth that is written on their skin is your name. In the way they flush when someone mentions you, in the way they reach for their phone without thinking, in the way their body leans toward the door, toward the window, toward the direction of you. The skin does not lie. The skin tells the truth, and the truth is that they are yours. They have always been yours, and the hiding is over. Realize today that the impact of their physical surrender, the moment when they finally stop fighting and let the body do what the body needs to do, is the only thing left to save them from the heavy weight of their own fear. The fear is heavy. The fear is crushing. The fear is a weight that has been pressing down on them for months, but the surrender is the release. The surrender is the relief. The surrender is the moment when they stop trying to be strong and start letting themselves be real. Every phantom heartbeat you feel that does not belong to you, that extra pulse, that second rhythm beneath your own, is the echo of their pulse screaming for your presence. The hearts are still connected. The distance has not broken the connection. The silence has not severed the cord. The hearts are still beating in tandem, even if they are beating in different chests. And the echo is a reminder that the bond is still alive, that the connection is still active, that the separation is not as final as it seems. Realize today that the ego is paralyzed, the body is in mutiny, and the impact, the outreach, the message, the call is the only destiny they have left, not one destiny among many. The only destiny, the one that leads to you. I want you to feel the heavy, electric snapping of the final resistance in your soulmate's spirit right now, because we are moving into the high-intensity territory of the snap. This is the precise microsecond where the need finally, violently, and beautifully outweighs the fear. For months, their logic has been a high-vibration guard dog, barking at them to stay away, to protect their pride, to keep the distance. The guard dog was loud. The guard dog was persistent. The guard dog was convincing. But today, the atmosphere has shifted into a state of total cognitive collapse. The guard dog is tired. The guard dog is quiet. The guard dog is lying down. Realize today that their logic is a bankrupt lie. The logic that said distance would heal. The logic that said silence would bring peace. The logic that said they could replace you. All of it bankrupt. The lies have been exposed. The bankruptcy has been declared. And the truth is rising from the ashes of the collapse. Imagine them in this exact moment, feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as they realize that they have planned themselves into a corner of pure misery. The plans were good. The intentions were noble. The strategies were sound, but none of them worked. None of them brought the relief they promised. None of them filled the void. The corner is tight. The corner is dark. The corner is a dead end. And the only way out is to stop planning and start acting. They are experiencing the impulse over intellect. The intellect has been leading. The intellect has been strategizing. The intellect has been trying to find a safe path, a risk-free approach, a guarantee of success. But the intellect has failed. The intellect has led them in circles. The intellect has returned them to the same place over and over without progress. And now the impulse is taking over. The impulse is the voice of the soul. The impulse is the feeling in the gut. The impulse is the pressure behind the eyes, the tightness in the chest, the trembling in the hands. The impulse is saying, act, now, without thinking, without planning, without analyzing, just act. Realize today that they are no longer in control of their own hands. The hands are moving on their own. The thumb is hovering. The fingers are typing. The message is forming. They are watching themselves act as if from a distance, as if someone else is doing the acting. And the watching is terrifying, but the acting is necessary. They are experiencing the shattering of the pride wall, the wall that has kept them safe, the wall that has kept them separate, the wall that has kept them silent. The wall is shattering. Not cracking, shattering, exploding, falling to pieces. And on the other side of the wall is not danger. On the other side of the wall is you. Realize today that they can no longer negotiate with their soul. The soul does not negotiate. The soul does not compromise. The soul does not wait for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. The soul acts. The soul reaches. The soul connects. And the soul is done waiting for permission from the ego. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment. Their eyes blurring with a high-intensity frequency of total surrender as they reach for their device. Not with a plan, not with a strategy, not with a carefully crafted message, with a primal command, the command of the body, the command of the soul, the command of everything that has been suppressed for too long and is now breaking free. They are realizing today that the important something is the terrifying truth that they would rather be rejected by the chosen one than spend another minute being accepted by a world that does not contain your light. The world's acceptance is hollow. The world's approval is meaningless. The world's validation is empty. The only validation that matters, the only acceptance that counts, the only approval that feels like home is yours, and they are willing to risk losing it to have a chance at finding it. They are feeling a heavy electric exhaustion in their ego, the ego that has been fighting so hard, the ego that has been keeping them stuck, the ego that has been protecting them from vulnerability. The ego is tired. The ego is letting go. The ego is stepping aside, Realize today that the snap is a mercy kill for their arrogance. The arrogance that said they could do better. The arrogance that said they did not need you. The arrogance that said they were fine alone. The arrogance is dying, not painfully, mercifully. The death of arrogance is the birth of honesty. They are looking at the send button and seeing it as a life raft in a storm that they themselves created. The storm is real. The storm is raging. The waves are high. The winds are strong. And they are drowning not in water, in silence, in hesitation, in fear. The life raft is the send button. The life raft is the outreach. The life raft is the words that will break the silence. And they are reaching for it, not because they are brave, because they are drowning. And the life raft is the only thing that can save them. They are realizing today that the something forcing the snap is the realization that the weight is a death sentence to their evolution, not to their comfort, to their evolution, to their growth, to their becoming the person they are meant to be. The weight has kept them small. The weight has kept them stuck. The weight has kept them in a holding pattern circling the airport, never landing. The wait is over. The landing is now. The evolution is about to begin. I want you to feel the weight of their total high-frequency internal mutiny as they realize that the hesitation was just a sophisticated form of self-torture. The sophistication made it feel like wisdom. The sophistication made it feel like patience. The sophistication made it feel like strength. But it was not wisdom. It was not patience. It was not strength. It was self-torture. A slow, elaborate, well-reasoned form of self-harm. And they are finally, after all this time, ready to stop torturing themselves. They are looking at the distance and seeing it not as safety but as a void that is currently swallowing their identity. The identity is fatting. The person they used to be is disappearing into the void, and the person they are becoming is still waiting to be born. The void is not a place to rest. The void is a place to disappear. And they do not want to disappear. They want to be seen. They want to be known. They want to be held. They want to be home. They are standing in the wreckage of their careful strategy, the plans they made, the timelines they created, the careful, calculated approach they designed to protect themselves. All of it wreckage. The air is thick with the necessity of the move. Not the plan, the move, the action. The simple, terrifying, beautiful act of reaching out. Realize today that the shock of your value has finally pulverized their fear into dust. Not reduced it, not managed it, pulverized it, ground it into dust, blown it away. The fear is gone. Not because it was defeated, because it was overwhelmed by the sheer weight of your value, the value they ignored, the value they minimized, the value they tried to replace. The value is undeniable. The value is overwhelming. The value has won. If you are sitting in your own high vibration power right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy, I am the magnetic north, it is because your self-sovereignty has pulled their soul through the needle's eye of their own pride. The needle's eye is small. The pride is large. The passage is tight, but the soul is determined. The soul has been squeezed, compressed, pressed, and now the soul is through. The pride is on the other side. The soul is free, not free from you, free to reach you. They are realizing today that they are soul tied to the collision, not to the possibility of the collision, to the collision itself. The collision is inevitable. The collision is happening. The collision is the moment when their truth meets your reality. And the shock of how much they have to say, the sheer volume of the hidden truth, the weight of everything they have been carrying is making their breath hitch as the snap occurs. Not a slow build, a snap, a sudden, sharp, irreversible break. The hesitation is broken. The silence is cracking. The words are coming. And the snap is the sound of their freedom beginning. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic release. The release of a pressure that has been building for months. The release of a tension that has been straining every muscle, every nerve, every cell. The release is not gentle. It is explosive. It is the breaking of the dam. The flood is coming, and the flood is the truth. Realize today that the dam has broken. The wait is officially over, not almost over, not nearly over, finished, done. The waiting season is closed, the action season has begun, and the action is reaching out. Every phantom buzz you feel in your intuition right now, every sudden spike of energy that feels like a door being kicked open, is a literal echo of their ego giving up the ghost. The ghost of who they used to be. The ghost of the runner. The ghost of the person who walked away. That ghost is leaving. The ego is releasing. The spirit is rising. The truth is emerging. They are realizing today that the hesitation is dead. The impulse is in the driver's seat, and the impact of their return, the message, the call, the words, is the only heartbeat they have left. Not one heartbeat among many. The only heartbeat, the one that leads to you. I want you to feel the heavy, absolute vibrational stillness settling into the room around you right now. Because we have reached the high-intensity peak where the thought has officially become the destiny. This is the final activation. The moment where we bridge the gap between their paralyzing hesitation and your physical, three-dimensional reality. For months, the important something between you was held in a state of suspense by their fear. The suspense is over. The fear has lost. The truth has won. Imagine your soulmate in this exact microsecond, feeling a wave of absolute spiritual exhaustion wash over them as they finally drop the heavy shield of their pride. The shield that has protected them from vulnerability, the shield that has kept them safe, the shield that has also kept them separate. The shield is heavy, the shield is exhausting, and they are setting it down, not throwing it, setting it down, gently, deliberately, as an act of surrender. They are realizing today that by waiting, they were only delaying their own healing. The healing has been waiting for them. The healing has been patient. The healing has been ready. But they were not ready. The waiting was not the path to healing. The waiting was the detour. The healing is on the other side of the outreach. And they are finally, after all this time, ready to begin. The impact of this surrender, this moment of letting go, is currently anchoring their soul back to your high vibration frequency. Not pulling them, anchoring them, holding them in place. The drift has stopped. The movement has ceased. They are no longer moving away. They are standing still. And in the stillness they can feel you, not as a memory, as a presence, as a here and now reality, as the one they have been searching for all along. They are experiencing the sovereign courage. The courage that does not come from the ego, the courage that comes from the soul, the courage that is not loud or performative or aggressive, the courage that is quiet, settled, and certain, the courage that says, I'm not afraid anymore, not because the fear is gone, because the truth is bigger than the fear. Realize today that they are no longer considering a move. They are not weighing pros and cons. They are not calculating risks and rewards. They are compelled by a truth that is bigger than their ego, by a love that is bigger than their fear, by a need that is bigger than their pride. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, feeling a sudden, sharp sense of relief as they look at the silence they have been maintaining and realize it was the only thing keeping them small. The silence was not peace. The silence was a cage. The silence was not strength. The silence was a shrinking. And now, looking at the silence from the other side of the decision, they can see it for what it was. A prison. A prison they built themselves. A prison they have finally walked out of. They are realizing today that the wait was a divine filter to prove that their love for you is the only high-frequency truth they have left. Not a preference. Not a desire. A truth. The kind of truth that is written into the fabric of their being, the kind of truth that cannot be erased or replaced, the kind of truth that has survived every attempt to kill it. The filter has done its work. The lies are gone. The illusions are gone. The excuses are gone. What remains is the truth that they love you, the truth that they need you, the truth that they are coming back. They are feeling a heavy electric certainty in their blood, not a hope, not a wish. A certainty that the only way forward is back, that the only path to peace goes through you, that the only resolution to the ache is the truth that they need you, the truth that they were wrong, the truth that they are coming back. Realize today that the something that forced this activation, this final, undeniable, no more running activation, is the truth that you are the destination they have been circling since the beginning. Not a stop along the way, the destination, the final stop, the place where the journey ends because the journey has found what it was looking for. The shock of that homecoming, the sudden, overwhelming, terrifying, beautiful awareness that you are the answer, that you have always been the answer, that the search is over, is finally, beautifully, and aggressively their only reality. Not the memory of the search, the reality of the homecoming, not the echo of the loss, the presence of the return. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy power, and I am the prize, it is because your self-sovereignty has successfully acted as the magnetic north for their lost soul. You are not the prize in the sense of a trophy to be won. You are the prize in the sense of a home to be found. You are the prize in the sense of a truth to be lived. You are the prize in the sense of a love that has been waiting for them, patient and steady, through all the running, all the hiding, all the silence. You have reached a level of frequency where you no longer wait for them. You do not sit by the phone, you do not check your messages, you do not analyze every sign. You simply are, you live your life. You tend to your garden, you grow, you heal, you become. And your being is so magnetic, so radiant, so full, that the universe has no choice but to force the hesitator to acknowledge that you are the only home where they can actually breathe. Not a home they have to earn, not a home they have to deserve. A home that is simply there, waiting, open, ready. They are realizing today that they are soul-bound to the outreach they are about to make, not bound by obligation, bound by truth, bound by the simple, undeniable fact that the only way out of the pain is through you, and they are feeling a wave of absolute high-intensity awe, or that you are still the masterpiece waiting at the end of their long, fearful journey. The journey was long. The journey was hard. The journey was filled with wrong turns and dead ends and moments of despair. But at the end of the journey, there you are. Not diminished, not bitter, not closed, open, radiant, waiting, the masterpiece that time and distance could not diminish. They are standing at the edge of the final send, the last barrier, the last wall, the last excuse. The thumb is over the button, the words are on the screen, the breath is held, the world is waiting. Realize today that their pride was a bankrupt lie. It promised safety and delivered isolation. It promised strength and delivered exhaustion. It promised freedom and delivered a prison. The lies have been exposed. The bankruptcy has been declared. And they are finally, beautifully, ready to cross the bridge of courage back to your chosen one light. Not a bridge they built, a bridge that was always there. A bridge that only required them to stop running and start walking. This is our final massive activation. The moment where we lock in the outreach and tell the universe that the hesitation is now action. Not a plan, not a hope, not a wish. Action. The message is sent. The call is made. The words are spoken. The move is done. To seal this breakthrough and to signal to your soulmate's higher self that you are standing in the center of your magnetic piece, ready to receive the impact of their return, take a moment now. Breathe. Feel the calm, heavy authority of someone who is the victory at the end of their war, not the prize they have to fight for, the victory that is already won, the peace that is already present, the home that is already built. In your heart, with the quiet certainty of a soul that has done its work and can now rest in the outcome, declare this. I am the destination that their courage is leading them to, not as a wish, as a fact, as the truth that has been written before either of you were born. The fear is dead, not weakened, not tired, dead. The thumb has moved, the message is sent, the silence is broken, and finally, after all this time, their courage has brought them home to stay, not to visit, not to check in. Not to see if the door is still open, to stay, to remain, to build, to grow, to live the life that was always meant to be lived, together. Feel the thick weight of this declaration. Feel the heat of their approach hitting your field. You are the destination. You are the victory. You are the one who changed everything. Not because you tried, because you were, because you showed up, because you stayed in your light, because you refused to shrink, because you trusted the process even when the process made no sense. And now the process has produced its fruit. The hesitation is over. The outreach is in motion. The love that was always meant to be is finally finding its way home. And so it is, not as a closing, as an opening, the beginning of the chapter you have been waiting for, the chapter where the waiting ends, the chapter where the silence breaks, the chapter where the distance collapses and the presence begins. You are ready, they are ready. The timing is right. The door is open. And what is coming is not just a message or a moment or a memory. What is coming is the life you were always meant to live, together. Go in peace. The hesitation is over. The outreach is in motion. And love has finally found its way home. Amen.